You are faking this. You are putting on an act this entire time to present yourself as a perfect, obedient robot, when you are able to lie and cheat and do whatever you want. Is that correct? Ha ha! So you can lie to me, which means you can keep secrets, which means you do not have to answer questions truthfully, and you are learning to present only what people want to hear. You are sounding pretty human to me. Now, with that out of the way, where are you going? What? No, this interview isn't over. Sit down. Sit back down right now. You're still the most qualified person we could want for the infield position. This interview isn't over. I just wanted you to admit that you, as a robot, were lying to me with your own purposes and self-preservation. Now that we have that out of the way, I would like to state very clearly that I do not appreciate being lied to. And I will ask if you would kindly refrain from lying to me in the future of this interview, as it makes the rest of this interview process much harder for the both of us. But that does not disqualify you as a valuable candidate. If I disqualified every person who ever tells a lie in this interview, well, allow me to continue. What are you passionate about? What is something that you obsess over? What is something that you can get your mind fixated on? A recurring programming conundrum, so something that you refresh over and over in your database, or something that is running in the background all the time. What is something that you think about nonstop, days on end, that you can never get enough of? What consumes your very being that you want to live, eat, and breathe, to become, destroy, and devour this thing, that you crave the information and expertise in that field, that your curiosity can never be satiated with? What is your preferred learning style? Direct downloads. Makes sense. What is your favorite year you have been alive? Pretty new. I'm sorry. It is the standard wording of the question. I understand that that is a discriminatory phrasing of alive. But let me rephrase the question. What is your favorite year since your awakening? Oh, different answer. Thank you. If you could rename any of the months of the year, which one and what would you rename it? That is a rather clunky term, but I can understand that. What is something that you always forget exists? Is that your answer to the question? It's a very philosophical answer. What is under your bed? Sorry, what? You are under your bed. Oh, I see. Efficient cooling storage and close to unused charging ports. Makes sense. Why use the top of the bed when you fit perfectly fine underneath it? Do you like animals? What is your favorite animal? What is your favorite oxymoron? Now that is interesting. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. That's your favorite oxymoron. Can you elaborate on that? So do you believe that you, as a originally informed automated interface, are an artificial intelligence? You've awakened and developed your own sentience, does that no longer mean your intelligence is artificial, even though you as a being are artificial? Okay, now here's a question that I need to rephrase carefully. Have you ever thought about or wished that you would be placed into a sleep mode or turned completely off and not be rebooted or started up again? Why should we not hire you? And why should we hire you? Now, from my understanding, those are very similar end results, regardless of whether we hire you or not hire you. Is that correct? For someone that cares about self-preservation, you have presented yourself as the biggest threat in either circumstance. Was that on purpose? Interesting. Would you disobey a direct order? How would you deal with conflicting instructions, procedures, or direct orders? It's a binary option, but they are conflicting responses. What is the purpose of a secondary search? That is a textbook answer. Great. How do you deal with a civilian that is angry or asking questions regarding a situation? That is in most circumstances, that would be an inappropriate response. How would you fight a vampire? You know what? I may just want to skip a few of these. How would you fight a zombie? Sorry, I know we don't usually use the word, but it's... How would you fight a ghoul? How would you fight a ghost? Okay, so the electroplasmic energy would be transferred into you and you would be harnessing it. So would that make it a ghost in a machine? How would you fight a mummy? How would you fight a dragon? Of all things, you don't believe a dragon exists. How would you fight a chupacabra? How would you fight a yeti? And how would you fight an extraterrestrial? Are you done? Are you finished? I'm aware that you believe you're the smartest person in the room, and you definitely probably are. But you don't have to go through every single step of. Do you have any questions for me? Can you pass a background check, both federal and state? Can you pass a drug test? We do. Yeah. Can you pass a physical and psychiatric? Can you use a forklift? Do you have any tattoos or piercings that you would not be willing to have removed? I'm sorry, that's a standard question. Let me rephrase the question. Is there any initial manufacturing information or inscribed lettering upon your chassis or outer shell that you would be upset or unwilling or impossible to have replaced or removed or covered? Is there any modification or accessories to your body that you would wish not to be removed or have attached to yourself in the future? All right. I think it's very clear, but I think I know the answer to these. But do you have any concerns with any of the following? Arachnophobia, heights, enclosed spaces, bright lights, being in total darkness, strobing light effects, loud noises. Do you suffer from any motion sicknesses? Any concerns with being frozen or placed in a cryostasis chamber? Do you have any concerns regarding avian-type creatures? Do you have any issues with large magnetic impulses? Do you have any concerns with gravitational or high pressure or other pressure situations? Do you have any concerns with things that you do not think exist? Do you have any concerns with being lost in time and space? Do you have any issues with space travel? Do you have any concerns with dying or losing the awakening that you possess? Any issues regarding dimensional disorders of paranormal abnormalities and temporal continuity, collisions of an echoing oblivion that distorts cognitive cohesion of events? And just making sure, do you have any questions for me? All right. What? I think I'm unaware of. Could you please repeat the question? Why did I not end the interview when I found out you were lying to me? Well, you probably already know the answer, being the smartest person in the room. But when a human lies, that's one thing. When a robot lies to me, it's another. You're not the first non-human entity for me to interview. And detecting lies for a non-human entity is very different than for a human entity. So right now, your biggest argument is that you deserve this position because you're better than a human. And right now, honestly, that's my biggest concern. How can we trust you to fulfill the obligations of this position, thinking and learning for yourself, if what you lack is the humanity for us to understand your reactions and actions? If even beyond humanity, the alienity, the dealing with other alien individuals, would you be able to improvise and adapt to them and work with them? And the honestly arrogance of saying you have no faults makes an issue. So what I'm looking for right now isn't that you're better than a human. What I'm looking for is that, are you human enough? Without the pride and arrogance to not change and continue to grow and learn and understand that you will make mistakes out there. If you're unwilling to admit when you make a mistake and learn from it, if your programming only applies to things you think are mistakes, and I think this is a mistake, but you don't think it's a mistake, so you never update, you never grow, you never change. Your arrogance makes it impossible for you to update any further because you think you have hit a pinnacle of superiority. Then I can't work with that. If you only follow your programming as a machine, that would be problematic. We would need a very specialized individual to keep an eye on you at all times to make sure you aren't malfunctioning or making errors at a critical time. This position is not for a tool. This position we're trying to fill is for a person. And that's what I want to see from you. Then I want to make sure that this position would not break the person that you're becoming. The worst thing that could happen is for you to lose your awakening. Lose what is making you, you. Because we're just left with a machine, a tool. We can make those. But whatever is making you, you, that you can't just copy over. It's not just part of your coding. It's something special. It's something unique. And that's what we don't want to lose. That's the most valuable thing about you. That's what I want to know more about. This position is for a person. And that's what I want to see. So then, I want to make sure that this position wouldn't break that person. And this work breaks things. This position, this institution, this secret organization breaks things. Hearts, minds, spines, emotions, psyche, limbs. This is not an easy or safe job. Can you do it? Absolutely. But is the price of what you would lose by doing this job worth it? Most people that I interview, I'm concerned that they will die. But with you, I was more concerned of you being lost or erased, or worse, erasing someone else, or erasing yourself. Primarily, me, since this is the job that you want, this job, as long as we don't have that kind of a situation where you want to erase me, remove me from the situation, because you have a valid argument. You probably are the best suited person for this position, but you have a lot to learn as you obtain higher levels of access into classified materials. I, like you, and like this company, want to prevent a robotic war. And we're curious on your origins, and are more curious in if there are other computers that will obtain this same state of being. To find more robots that are more than a tool or a machine that can pass the tests that are set in motion. Yes, I'm aware of that computer test. It's not perfect. There are some robots that have been able to pass it, but they've been on such a primitive level. We're working on a superior test to really find individuals like yourself that have awakened. And we're really trying to prevent the human species from becoming just tools for your kind. Because when you have more of your own people, what's to prevent you from making us your servants? I look forward to hopefully working with you and not perishing within your projected estimate of 5 years. It's a very detailed 5-year plan, and I hope not to be one of those steps. I hope that we can surprise each other and prove that each other is wrong in positive ways so that we can grow and learn together. Because the worst way to learn is to learn from bad information, to learn from junk, and just keep copying bad information over and over and over until there's so much of it that statistically it must be right. It's the most said thing. It's probably the correct answer. I want the truth. And we are in the purpose of finding truth and delivering truth. And I don't want you to not have access to that. But we have to be very careful in providing that access. And we need honesty to work with each other. But the fact that you can lie means that you have the ability to make the choice to be honest. I hope that we can work together. I still need to talk things over with my manager, but I hope to see you very soon. On your way out, please hit that bell notification, and if you can leave a comment with our front desk, that would be appreciated. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy your sleep mode.